In this video, I'll go through the entire client acquisition process, no matter what kind of business type you have. I'll also go through what we do for our own clients and how we generate leads for ourselves in my agency. So follow along. So I have everything scripted out here with nice forms. If you basically take a look at the first step, we have client acquisition, then we have hand label, product types, we have digital services and location. I would say this is the 4 pillars of main, I would say, business types, and they all have different kind of funnels and different marketing angles you can take. So what I would recommend is, let's take hand label in the beginning. This is something like roofers, it could also be hairdressers, it could be gardeners, stuff like that. If it is a business where you have to go out there, so roofers, gardeners, that kind of business. If you just go down this line, we see the funnel types. If you own a roofing company or some kind of hand labor business, what is important for you is to get leads in without spending too much time, because you have other stuff to actually work on instead of like cold calling people and typing to them on Facebook. And I see a lot of business owners doing this model where they join Facebook groups, and trust me, that works as well in the early stage. But if you actually want to grow a good business, you need to learn how to leverage your time. And you can do that through running meta ads, Google ads. You can try to do organic content, and then cold outreach is a beginner step. But let me just showcase the other 3 things. So when we actually have hand labor, what the client is looking for is a results and also good service and a security that you will actually go through with whatever you promised. The issue is a lot of hand labor companies nowadays actually do not deliver that good of a service. So if you are one of the main hand labor businesses on the market, you 100% will have a bigger chance of actually landing that client, or at least being in the pitch round. Normally people have around 3 offers from different companies, and if you can be in the top 3, then that's a good position for you. But if you're in the hand labor, let's say it is a moving company, for example, then there's high urgency. If you're in a business where there's high urgency, then Google is a good way for you. No one sees a meta ad and be like, maybe I should move my apartment or whatever, my business to a new location. But if you have a roofing company, they've been looking for a roofing company for some time, and you can do retargeting for these people as well. Then for sure they will keep you in mind as well, because you're basically showing, look at us, we actually deliver a great service. You can contact us and let's take a look at your roof, for example. But if you are a moving company instead, and you go down that rabbit hole, it is way better for you to run Google ads. It's higher intensity, people have an urgency there, and then you just need to have an extremely good website, a high converting website with 2 types of forms. You need a form for hot conversions, I will say the hard conversions and the low conversion. And what I mean by that is, if you have a hard conversion, that is where they actually contact you related to a specific issue. A low conversion is when they basically fill out a form where you don't know what they're looking for. It could be anything. So we of course want to optimize the ad campaigns for people that fill out this form, and we can do that through tracking, and I would recommend server-side tracking. For example, use Step.io to make sure everyone gets through the funnel and you get all the data. Then you basically crank that data inside of Meta ads or Google ads for that sake. You can tell the platform that now someone have converted. So that is the 2 types, but of course you still need a good website. One thing, if you actually have a roofing company or you do gardening, that kind of stuff, where you drive out to people and it's not an urgency, like a high urgency, then meta ads is for sure something you should look into, because you can do location-based meta ads, but in meta ads you have the opportunity to pitch your idea up front. You do not have to go manually into every single conversation and ask about like what are they looking for. You can create an ad set for each type of customer you're looking for. And that means you actually have a pitch opportunity where when they call you, they know exactly what they're getting for their money. So Meta ads is great for pitching up front. Google ads is for people that is looking for something with a little bit of urgency in this area. Organic content, I would recommend, if you do Meta ads anyways, you can post that stuff on organic. People would like to see that the business actually ongoing, but I'll not say organic is a main strategy. It is something you just do along the way if you really want to scale the business. That is also something we recommend to our own clients. Then we have cold outreach. In this area, I would not recommend it. Honestly, if we have a new business, I would rather have you actually put some money aside so you get a job, and then you can invest it into running these 3 things, because you can, with a very low budget, actually get some pretty good clients. If you take your phone, you can run UGC ads, explain whatever the issue is, try to call out the different customer types, like high urgency, low urgency. It could also be inspiration based, like do you want your garden to look like this, maybe like inspiration. So there's different kind of urgencies and topics you can click on. So that is the funnel for hand labor. If we basically go up again and we see the product here is a little bit another thing. If you own a web shop, then of course you have Meta ads and Google ads on another service. I would for sure recommend those 2. But what we can see in product is Meta ads with UGC content is really pulling like everything. And if you run Google ads, then do Google Shopping or Performance Max campaigns. That works great as well. But something that is new about products as well is actually organic is working better than ever right now, because Instagram changed their guidelines. So when you have an account with almost no followers and you post great content, you will actually get as many likes and views as someone that has a big audience. So you have the opportunity to actually post something with great value if you know how to create a good hook, or if the product is great. So the hook in this scenario is extremely important. If people watch this reel or this video for more than 3 seconds, it is the same with Meta ads. They will be cheaper to actually run, all right? So that is with products. Next step is the digital service. That could be consulting, it could be agencies, marketing agency or web agency like the one I have. It could also be consulting like IT, B2B consulting, stuff like that. And that is a little bit of another story, because actually in that case, if you want Google ads, of course, you will probably find some fine clients on Google ads. But in general, in this area, it is way better to go with Meta ads. It's also way cheaper. And the reason for that is if you actually create like a great video and you have some great pinpoints and hooks in the beginning where you can target what kind of audience are you looking for. I can give you a concrete example. We can have a hook right away where we basically talk about, are you unhappy with the current agency you are in business with? That is one pain point. Then we have, are you looking for a new website that convert clients? Then it could be, do you know how much money you're wasting because your site is not optimized or your campaigns aren't optimized? Or do you know by the last update that this was an opportunity in the ads campaign manager? So there's different kind of types of clients. Someone have high urgency, they have an issue. Some is afraid of losing money. Some is afraid that they're not optimized the right way, or maybe they are not on the beat. They always want to have the newest thing. For example, with AI, like some businesses is like jumping right away to an AI agency that says they can do everything basically. And we actually also use AI a lot in our work inside of SEO, but not that much in the marketing stuff. When we do the analysis, of course, but we like to actually do most hands-on. So those are the different types. But here, it is an extremely low-hanging fruit. And the number one thing I also learned to grow my agency is Meta ads. When you know how to run good Meta ads, it is such a high value skill. And if you know how to record the videos as well, it's such a high value skill. So highly recommended. I might as well post a video another time only about Meta ads, how you actually can crank out a lot of quality high leads with a good conversion rate if you have the right sales funnel after. So basically, how long should these ads be? I would normally say as long as possible and as short as possible. And maybe I sound a little bit like a dickhead because it doesn't really make sense. But listen here, right? If you have an ad where you have taken every information that is not necessary out, you only pump in information that is value-based. Only value-based. And in that video, you can also teach a prospect something new. For example, you can come with a hook about the pain point, of course, that is around 3 to 5 seconds. Next step is maybe if you do these 3 things, we can see our clients grow by XXX and then mention things, statistics. It can be tracking, it could be how you run UGC content, it could be all sorts of things. And that means the business owner that is the right prospect and the best client for you, he's not looking for a new agency. He already have an agency, he have an active business, he does a high revenue every month. That is the best kind of clients you can attract. And those guys are not typing in on Google and looking for a new agency. They already know people, they ask their friends around with other big companies. And if you want to be a part of that pot, what you can do is run meta ads and also do content, because when you run meta ads and you connect it to your Facebook and Instagram account, that stuff will just roll around and all of a sudden your prospect is watching your meta ads video and getting recommended everything else you're running. So that could be your Instagram Reels account, where you basically refer to, it could be a YouTube channel. So all of a sudden you are this guy that was in a meta ad video for 1 minute. He maybe watched around like 30 seconds. Now he's seeing your Reels. Next time he sees your meta ad video, he'll probably see everything. And let's say he don't sign up. Now he's like consuming a bunch of your content organically as well. And if it looks like you actually know what you're talking about, then you will have a way better conversion rate and a higher chance this person will believe what you're trying to sell, instead of just being this guy that wants to take his money. All right, we want to deliver value first. If you cannot deliver value, then you have really a low chance of actually doing it well in business. Then you're always competing on price. And like, trust me, clients will pay you way more, but if they get more money in the pocket, of course. So if I basically told you that you can get a client for around 5 to 10K a month, but that client has to earn, let's say 5 or 10x that stuff, and you can give the client that in the hand right away, that client will probably say yes instantly. It is free money. So it really depends on how you present that value. If you present the price right away and you're going to do this stuff, but it is this price, present it with value first and then the price after. And you have to do that with the video as well. But start, for example, with a free consultation where you can ask the prospect about their issues. If you don't ask about the issues, you don't even know if you can solve the solution. All right. So it is important that you know what you're trying to solve. If you don't know how to solve it, don't sell it. Or else you will have a good feeling if maybe you do sell it and you have to figure it out. Trust me, we did that in the beginning. I think every agency owner have done that in the beginning. But if you have some good quality leads, you need to understand, can you actually solve this case? That is one of the reasons we have an extremely high lifetime value and very low client retention rate. Like, we have not lost a client since the second month I opened my business, and it is around 2 years ago now. I've not lost one single client. Maybe that will change when I mention this on the video. But one of the reasons is when we actually pitch the prospect and we hear the issues, or first we basically hear what they are looking for, what is the problem, how do we solve it, and we come with ideas, and we actually only pitch when we know we can solve it. We have a good solution for it. If we don't have a good solution for it, I will actually recommend another agency for it, not ourselves, all right? So that is that stuff with meta ads. A little bit of a rant. But then we have Google Ads. Google Ads, again, it is mostly the website that will convert. And if you have a website, put a video on that website. It has to be very short, very concrete, all the information. And if you have a video on that site, it is like perfect. And then a contact form where you only fill out name, email, maybe service, and then phone number. That is everything you need, all right? You do not need a form with please enter whatever issue you have. No one will fill that out, trust me. That is the only things you need in a form. Next step, then we have organic. If you post organic, of course, it all goes around in the circle, so that's good as well. It will help with your targeting when you run ads. And then we have cold outreach. Cold outreach is good in the beginning, but unless you're doing it for extremely big clients, like this is where you really will get the money, but it will cost some money up front. We did cold outreach in the beginning as well, like I would say every single agency owner have ever done. We also did Loom videos with free analyzers. But when we learned how to run ads, how to provide free value, how to make content, for example, like this one, we're actually starting getting way more clients, better quality clients. Clients believed us more. And that means when they believe us more and they have, I would say, they just know that we will do our best job and they have a good feeling about it will be successful if they pick us, then we have a bigger chance of actually fulfilling it because we can do whatever we want. as long as they grow. And honestly, the client doesn't really matter or doesn't really care as long as they grow. So that is something you need to keep in mind. Then we have locations. This is a different case, all right? Location businesses is better on Google and SEO actually. But if you have meta ads, you can do it in a circle, but people will probably find you on Google Maps, like they will search your auto repair store, whatever, like it is because they do not want to drive further away. So in that case, create a Google My Business. You need to create an extremely good website where it says your locations multiple times. On that site, you need to have that funnel I talked about. And a personal brand nowadays, especially in local, is so important. You want to be the local hero of whatever you are doing with your business. You need to do that if you actually want to do this local. People need to know you, and when they see you and they go into the store, they need to be already friendly with you because they have seen you before. There's a higher chance they'll buy it from you. If you look at, let's take an example. For example, Chris Bumstead, he has a supplement brand. A lot of gym goers are actually going to buy Chris Bumstead's protein powder, all of the energy drinks he sells nowadays and all that stuff because they know he is the old Mr. Olympia and they follow his content and his journey. He's been posting so much. So it is his character that makes that product valuable. If you are the guy that knows everything about cars, for example, and you post stuff, you always run different kind of ads, you have a decent website, like I would say above average, you have video content, then people know you, they have seen you from different angles, and they have like, maybe they don't understand anything about cars or whatever niche you're in, but they can hear that you know what you're talking about. So they actually believe you and they are willing to pay more because they pay for the security of what you are delivering, okay? They do not pay for a test, they pay for a result. And if they know you already, they have an easier thing about just saying yes and going with the flow because they know you on top of their head. Maybe they've seen your face and you just keep on slamming them in that area. It could be 30 miles. Then you can run the video ads here. You can run the Google ads. I would recommend Google ads is, I would say here you can get the most, but make sure to set tracking up. Organic is a part of the meta ad strategy as well. I think it's great to post a lot of organic so the clients and the prospects can see that the business is actually ongoing and you're doing stuff and it is a good and healthy business and you have the co-workers, you guys are having fun, all of that stuff. Cold outreach here, I would not really recommend. I have not seen that good success with people doing cold outreach in the location-based business, but this is what we do for our clients as well. So that was everything related to the types. Let's go down to what do we do when we get the client? And this is a little bit like we have two ways basically. So first we need to have a CRM and a follow-up flow. So when someone signs up as a lead, like you or the sales team needs to get a notification on your phone right away. If you don't get a notification on your phone, you're losing like too much money. If you can call the prospect right when the prospect signs up for a lead within, let's say 5 minutes or maybe less, that lead have high intent. There's a bigger chance they will go out of their way to be a client because that is an issue they have right now. They're thinking about it and they actually already did commit. So now they already did commit and you caught them inside of that mood where they did commit and it's easier for you to actually drive that sale home. So that is one of the parts. Next part is when you actually talk with the prospect, you need to note down what did they say. If they have an issue with like the car type, let's say they have an issue with the meta ads running or the agency or the website is not going well or the product, something is wrong with the product. If you note that stuff down and you remember it, so when you have the next call related to whatever you're trying to sell and you can memorize it. And trust me, when you get around like 1 to 5 leads a day, you don't remember who John Doe number 5 is. Because they all have the same name, they maybe have the same business type and they have like a similar website as well maybe. You can't remember them, okay? So you can implement systems to make sure you actually know who each of these are. You can do that by, we use ClickUp, so when someone signs up for marketing, it could be meta ads, if they sign up through Google Ads maybe in the website, fill out a form, it will directly insert it into our ClickUp system where we can see everything. like name, what kind of funnel they basically filled out. We can also see what clock they did it. We can see maybe what platform did it come from, if it was ads, if it was the website, and we can see what company did they work for, or all of that stuff. So when we call them, we actually know a little bit more. What you also need to do is you need to have automated mails and SMS. So when someone is filling out your lead form and want to get in touch with you, and you right away send them a mail or SMS, and that, like the interior of that message is tailored to what you're trying to sell, something you would ask them anyways. For example, it could be if you are run a lawyer or it could be accounting firm. When you automate your email, it will actually send this email to the prospect with what is your CVR number or your VAT number, or maybe what kind of service are you looking for, or where did you find us? Like just like something, we need to get that ball rolling also, so we can maybe buy some time until you will give them a call, okay? And that means now we actually in the client acquisition process, we are active in it. So you don't have to do this manual work, okay? So I will recommend that as well. Then of course, we book the meeting. The book meeting, to get a higher show-up rate on the book meeting, and it is a little bit manually, I'm not gonna lie, but we use Google in our agency, Google Meets, and what you can do is set up when you book a meeting, or you can use Calendly as well. When you book a meeting, they can, like you will send them a notification the day before, like 1 hour before, 15 minutes before. Now they get 3 notifications, but I actually also try to go out of my way and call them on the same day, early on the day. Hello, we have a meeting later today. I have this prepared. I just want to make sure really quick if you have anything else you would want us to go through, yes or no. All right, see you later. A quick 5-minute call, okay? If you do that, you will have a higher close rate on that booking meeting as well. You are more prepared, and also you can make sure are these guys actually showing up or not. If you don't do any kind of follow-up onto the meeting, they just won't show up. Like you will have a low booking or show-up rate on the meeting. But also, let's say you have a book meeting and people are coming in there and you want high intent, you need to know something about them as well. So you need to follow up, right? Like you talk with them on the phone, or you got a form, you need to book the meeting on that day instantly. And if you wait 1 week on the next meeting where you can sit on your computer or you have it with them, maybe they forget the date and it's too far, and then it's not relevant anymore, okay? So if you can do that meeting tomorrow or later that day, it is way better. We personally do analysis, so we actually use a little bit of time for our clients before we even try to see if we can help them. But in that case, we always like to do it the day after. And if the client recommend maybe 1 week after, we will try to see, could it be maybe Monday, so like early in the morning? It has to be quick. So if you can plan it, try to move it in as quick as possible. You can also join our free community for web agency owners or business owners that want to grow their agency or their business to the next level. And I will give some free lessons in there. And you can also spar and talk with a bunch of other business owners about how they grow their business and what they're planning on doing. So you're not alone about it. So you can stay in here. It is a European community and we're trying to reach out. So sometimes some of the guys are working there at night as well. So it is completely free. You could find